Progress. We're going to start off in prayer. Heavenly Father, I just thank you for this opportunity for us to speak wisdom, to speak wisely, to speak with discernment, um, for you to just bless everybody through us as we start this podcast, as we start this show. Glory to your name. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, this is the first initial episode of Three Peas in a Pod. I am here with your hosts, Pazel and PJ. These are my sons. They're gonna say what's up.
How you
Yo,
doing?
All right, so with this show, what we wanted to do, what I wanted to do initially with this idea was to um leave legacy, one for my sons, and also it was something that I was being obedient to. I'm a creative, as is all of my kids. And sometimes when a creative influx just hits you, you just have to just listen to it, right? If something keeps bothering you, if a character keeps talking to you in your head, you have to draw it, or you have to write what it says, or you have to create the show or do the movie or whatever it is. Like I said, my name is Pedro, born on August 11th. Hazel, born on September 18th. PJ, born on January 20th. And the most significant thing, not only do all our names start with P, why it's called Three Ps in a Pod, but we were all born on a Thursday, respectively, in the evening. If you look in the calendar, 1/20/05 is on the Thursday, so is 9/18/08 also on a Thursday. So the
hmm
first episode we're going to talk about is influence the influencer. That's the title of the episode. You guys, so what do you think? What's your take on influencers, the status of or the status of influencers as they are today?
Gazelle, would you like to go first?
I think it's a very treacherous road between entertainer and political figure
Mm,
because being an influencer is all about the you that you let people see. And if you let people see too much, they're going to think that they know you. And that, of course, is the worst case scenario.
I mean, yeah, it does get pretty shaky. As soon as people seem to, blow up, I've had a few conversations with people who do call themselves influencers now. They might have around 10,000 to 100,000 based on the following that they could have gotten, a week right before. They just did something funny on their camera and then boom, like life just starts hitting. So, from my point of view, what it really means to be an influencer is kind of like on a pendulum, on a scale. Like you either have actual like political power, as my brother was talking about, like the whole Trump situation, how Camilla should have did this, that, and the third, and what Trump definitely did to get where he is now, and the things that people see that obviously affect our day to days. And then we have the other influencers, like a lot of our musicians, a lot of the people that, we follow and listen to, even in podcasts like Joe Rogan and stuff like that. A lot of the information that they provide or that they just say can literally be taken and ran with it by anyone. And it's like a I like to think of it like the headband kind of analogy. Like you either have that number one headband and anything you say and do can and will be used against you, or you have the number two and your only goal is to get rid of that number one. So it's really cutthroat out here. Like my brother did not mess up at all, saying how treacherous it could easily be.
Yeah, I think treacherous is one way to put it. For me, and again, this show is three generations, right? We're talking about from teens to early adulthood to, been an adult for I've been in this adult game for a minute now. So I've seen the rise of influencers. Like you said, PJ, you have friends who can make a funny video and all of a sudden they got 10,000 followers and they're an influencer, right? And I've seen I remember people like I remember people like Corey Kenshin. I remember people like Ninja. I remember people like RDC World. I remember those people when they first started, when YouTube first came, and I used to watch YouTube videos for fun. It wasn't influence, and they were just making funny videos. Now the term influencer, um, to Pazel's point, I think is more treacherous. You mentioned Joe Rogan, and you mentioned former Vice President Kamala Harris. I want to make sure we show that lady some respect and get her name right. But
Hmm.
but those people aren't. Kamala is not an influencer. Joe Rogan. I don't even know if you would consider Joe Rogan an influencer. Or here's another question: do you feel like influencers are like influencers for everyone, or there's certain influencers for certain, like a YN influencer and an UNC influencer and an OG influencer?
I mean, in a lot of cases, there can be, but it really depends on the influence that they have, you know? Because when Camilla Harris, obviously the former vice president, when she goes and actually has her discussions and she gets on stage, there's a lot of like there's a lot of people who are just listening to try and combat anything that she says. And then there's the other side that are actually listening to what she says and taking that into account as to what they do or how they see her. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but we want to keep it real, right? So
Mhm.
we're the only two that's old enough to vote right now. Pazel, do you know Kamala?
Yeah, I know of her. I don't know of what she was planning as towards presidency, but I know that she was better than the other option.
Okay, that's what you think, right? That's what you think. You think she was better than the other option. Why
Yeah,
do you think that?
because the other option was, well, we're seeing it right now, probably one of the worst presidencies that we're going to experience.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. As so far in the first 100 days, this is pretty bad, right? But I don't want to. This we're not uh, a Republican loving, and we're also not a Democratic loving group, right? This household is going to be very different depending on um, who you vibe with. I remember when I started voting. I think it was George Bush, right? And President Clinton. I think that was the first opportunity I had to vote for.
Mhm.
Um, so I don't sway anyway politically. I know I believe what is right. I believe what I think I believe what is right, and I think everyone else does that. And getting back to influencers, Kamala Harris is not an influencer. I haven't even seen her. All this stuff is going on. I have not seen where she's been at. She has not been speaking up. She has not
She
been
had
doing anything. Well, at
she
least
had a whole
algorithm.
yeah, she had a whole podcast. She had meetings on meetings. Boom, gone.
Well, she lost, and then she went and minded her business. And I will have friends who will say she's preparing because she knows what it looks like right now. So she's getting ready to be like, okay, so it's gonna be real messed up. Let me get ready for Armageddon, people overthrowing the White House, whatever they might be doing. I'm not saying that's what people should do. I definitely don't think people should try to overthrow the White House. Let me repeat, anarchy is not the answer.
Didn't they already try that?
They did. They did. They did try that. Didn't work out well. But eventually they got free. So but we're talking about influencers, people who influence you. Who was on your algorithm that influences you? That sticks out in your mind.
That's a good question. Because
Because
who
who's
really
who was an
influences?
influencer that sticks out in your mind, that influenced you when you open up your social media? Who is one of the people that you're like, oh yeah, I trust this person or I believe this person?
Really, it's only the only people that I find myself attached to in terms of it influencing, as one would say, would be like it's mainly people who make me laugh. Like pe people like Caleb City, RDC World, Tony Stadovici,
Mhm.
all of those people, I consider them to be influencing me because I appreciate, and there are a lot of streamers and like influencers who don't like act the same way that they do, or share different opinions publicly than in private. And really, I'll only associate my people who don't change themselves once they turn the camera on.
What do you
Like
what do you go ahead? What do you mean?
there's this YouTuber that I follow. His name is Sai the Clown. He's one of the people that I have seen who does not change who he is. Because for example, IShowSpeed acts nothing like the way he does on. He's nothing like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right?
In real life, he's not that hype, right? He's
Yeah,
like
In real life, he's so much chiller.
yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
And so
but he's a
I
cool dude though. He's a good dude. I like him.
yeah.
And he's a great friend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so I only really find myself gravitating towards those type of people.
All right. PJ, so who do you see on your end on your algorithm who you would consider influencer?
Well, I mean, my algorithm has changed quite a bit. I'm not as big on things like Instagram and even TikTok or shoot, I barely catching myself watching YouTube nowadays, but for the few times that I do like to see specific people who I feel like I can take from and incorporate it into my day to day will probably just be the amount of prayer that Corey puts in his videos. He's coming back up, being more recent. Not sure if y'all seen the most recent of his posts, but I just I'm kind of fed upon the enjoyment of authenticity, like Zoe was saying, the people that you see up front on TV really is just completely for entertainment. Like they'll be shaking butt. They'll be shaking butt on their camera. And then in reality, they're just sitting on their couch trying to enjoy themselves. So um I see a lot of that in Corey. I see a lot of that in some of his friends as well, like Dashy,
Mhm.
like Poise,
Mhm.
and a lot of and even Rico the Giant and Berleezy. Like I watch as they collect themselves as men aside from all the things that they like to do, the game shows, the short talks that they have about the serious situation. I do believe no, it was actually Berleezy. He did start up a podcast as well. I haven't tuned in yet. They are fairly new, but um things like that I do actually like inspire to do for myself because one of the things that I love the most is being able to have a community, being able to have a standpoint, and just having people like-minded around you that won't really try to take where you are, but try to just like add more sauce onto the art, the gourmet that y'all are making as creators. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right. I think that's a good point. And what I'm listening to y'all, I'm realizing that a lot of my uh, a lot of my influencers online and people who can actually influence me are people that I've learned from y'all, right?
Right.
Corey is big on that. I didn't know nothing about Corey until you and Pizzelle showed me him. I'm a big fan. And Corey can probably literally tell me, "Hey, go buy this. This is good," and I
Like
will
he just
and I
dropped
will
the
be,
manga.
yeah. And I was actually asking Pizzelle, like, yo, should we buy this manga? Should we get this? Should
Yeah.
we get the hard copy or should we get the digital? Um, I'm gonna buy it regardless. We just haven't bought it yet, just out of support. Low key, Pizzelle has Corey merch that we end up buying.
Yeah.
You know what
We've
I'm
got
saying?
Corey Merch. He's been helping his mom so much too. Like he's on the sides doing other works other than the things that he knows that have been working for other people.
Right, right, right. I also to my adult side of it, right? Oh, and quick shout out to I want to point out Kai, right? I knew nothing about
Mhm.
Kai. I knew nothing about Kai. I still really don't even watch his Twitch streams or anything like that. The only reason I know about Kai is because he messes with OGs and unks, right? So
Right.
when he has Kevin Hart, when he has Kevin Hart, and when he has Kyrie on the stream, I get whatever Kyrie is doing. I get whatever Kevin Hart is doing. Then we're sitting with Kai, so that's how I know him. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And a special shout out to him because he says he doesn't. Recently, it was quoted. Now we're gonna get into this later, but it said he was quoted with saying he doesn't accept payment for showing up to these BET awards or anything like that because he doesn't want to feel like he'd be influenced to say something positive about something he doesn't actually feel positive about. Right.
Hmm.
And I remember during the presidential election and voting, Kai was saying that, Kamala Harris and her camp and, possibly Donald Trump and his camp reached out to him, more specifically Kamala Harris, he said, and he said, no, I don't want to do any interviews because I don't care about politics. Right. Like, I'm keeping it real with y'all. I don't care. I don't know nothing about it, and I don't want to know nothing about it. That wasn't, I don't think that was brilliant for him to do. But he was also speaking from whatever age and whatever place he is right now. Right. When he's 40, 50 plus, he will probably feel differently. Maybe he won't. But from right now, that's how he feels. And I appreciate his authenticity, and truly being himself. I love these are influencers that convince me of things, right? With Club Shay Shay, Cam Newton's podcast,
Hmm.
those are people who influence me. Not because I am. So sometimes I listen to influencers or podcasters that I don't necessarily deem positive, but just like they offer a contrary thought, and I want to see if there's some truth to there. Like, I'll listen to a clip of Joe Rogan. I'll listen to a clip of Candace Owens. I'll listen to old clips of Kevin Samuels and Dr. Jordan Peterson, and
Right.
what's his name, Andrew Tate. I think, like Speed, I think they're playing characters. I don't think they're actually these people in real life.
No, there's no way.
Yeah,
There's
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because can you really be that ignorant? You might be, right? I think Donald Trump is not playing a character. I think he actually is who he says.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
been saying it too long to not.
But some of
But
these other people, they offer contradictory thought, and I'm intrigued by that. One of the people that I do take very seriously is the lady who does couples therapy. I know you guys probably don't get this. The Boardroom with Shane Bourdain. She's a love therapist and psychologist.
mhm.
She Who else?
And
Uh,
to have such a heavy accent as well, I was really impressed with her work.
who was that? Shane?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Uh, I'm drawing a blank. I should have wrote this down, but there are plenty of influencers. We'll get into them later. Do you guys on the bad side of influencers, because the influencer is made, marketed, paid to make you do things, to make you watch things. Influencers tell you how good movies are or how bad movies are, how good products are, or how bad products are. Um, on my side of the internet, there's this huge, what I feel, and this is just me, this huge misconception of stats. Like, there is this huge idea. Uh-oh, we run out of time. No, I don't want to update right now. But you got 10 minutes left. So we'll just talk about it. There's this huge idea that there's these statistics that people give you, and I have no idea what they get it from. People are saying, oh, 50% of black couples get divorced after 2 years. 100% of black men love white women. 90% of kids who are 16 to 17 read furry mangas or whatever the case may
They
be.
even put it on TikTok as well.
But the thing is, it's like, where is this coming from? This can't be real, because where are they getting these numbers from? Right?
Where's this information?
Zell, do you get that on yours?
Mm-mm. No, I don't get nothing like that.
I
Okay.
think because his algorithm is based more so on like the jokey side of what our day to day kind of looks like, he'll
Mm,
probably get more like behind backdoor jokes, like
okay.
probably things that aren't as like upfront with the
Right.
statistics.
Okay. 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 So it infuriates me. It infuriates
Hmm.
when people
Hmm.
throw these statistics, because I got a couple degrees, you know what I'm saying, not trying to stunt or flex. But I got a couple degrees. I don't always know what I'm talking about, but the best part about it is I don't pretend to know what I'm talking about if I don't know what I'm talking about. I do believe the Chinese proverb or the African proverb or whoever said it. The smartest man in the room is the man who asks the most questions, or the smartest person in the room is the
Hmm.
person that asks the most questions, right? Not the person who thinks that they know everything. And when people throw statistics, because it was harped on me to study when I went to school, when I went to college, we studied Pew, right? It was Pew, Pew. is the foundational research for like all the places in the world. I'll find out where it actually stands for.
So like a liberal arts of liberal arts.
Well, I didn't get a liberal arts degree. Well, I think I did get a liberal arts degree in a sense for humanities, but in studying macro and microeconomics, when you want to study research, when you were doing business and you wanted to find who you're marketing to, you have to
Correct.
research. You
You
can't
have to
say,
research.
right. You can't just say all black people like chicken and watermelon. You have to actually find out, is that true, right? Do all black
Yeah.
people like chicken and watermelon for real? Like, or is that just in your city, just in your town? You can find that out. And on this show, whenever we say something like, oh, all kids 16 to 17 years old like furry manga, we're gonna have to find that out. Google it,
It's
Don't
gonna
just
have to
say,
be a statistic on
yeah,
an org somewhere, not just on a website somebody
right,
made.
right, right. Not just something somebody said on a podcast. You know what I'm saying? That can't be it. It has to be something for real. So uh we're gonna do that on the show. We're gonna make sure if whatever we say, we're gonna fact check it. Whatever
Hmm.
opinions we have, we're gonna fact check it. Like, is it really that way? I don't know.
I
Let's
don't know. Let's find out.
All
You know what I mean?
right. So, do you believe everything that's on the internet? How much of the stuff that's on the internet do you actually believe? Scale of 1 to 10, Pizzo.
Uh, about like 25%.
You only believe 25% of the stuff on the internet?
Yeah. I take most things as a joke.
Okay.
See, I mean, when his algorithm is cut like that, it definitely makes sense. And some of these jokes feed more truth than a lot of these facts that other people will try to throw at you. It's a
What
good closing question as well.
why do you feel like 25% of stuff on the internet is real?
Because like mostly there's no regulations for what you can and can't like say or do or imply or try to educate people on. So without some kind of prior evidence to whatever whoever I'm watching is talking about, I don't take it seriously.
Hmm. Hmm.
All right, all
I
right.
agree.
So what about so what I don't take seriously is the camera setup, right? If like I'm catching my boyfriend's reaction to me calling
Oh,
him.
the POV.
Yeah,
Oh, the
yeah, yeah,
POV.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. Where the camera is literally set up in the bathroom and the boyfriend walks in the bathroom and you say something to get him mad or your mom mad or whatever the case may be. This
Mhm.
set up to have the perfect frame. You know what I'm saying? So this was obviously rehearsed, chopped up
Right.
and edited down. Also the crying videos online. You know what I'm saying? You're catching yourself crying, you're recording yourself crying, and you're editing it and chopping it up to music. This to that screams inauthentic to me.
Right.
And this is actually the closing question for influencers. Can influencers cyberbully? Because I know when y'all was
Hmm.
in school, there was a big thing about cyberbullying. Don't cyberbully. But I feel like I watch a lot of adults on the internet cyberbully other adults. Right?
Yeah, yeah,
Giselle,
they
what do you
do.
Yeah.
think?
They very much do. And
Have you
I,
seen anybody? Go ahead, PJ. You seen somebody cyberbully another adult?
yeah, I mean, a lot of it does only happen like live because nobody really likes to post a recorded clip or get clipped of a recorded moment that could be considered cyberbullying. Like I've seen Kai go back and forth on his platform trying to defend himself from what a lot of people have been portraying him to be cyberbullying other people for.
Mm.
Like like Zoe Spencer and Zeddy Williams, like he's had, a little altercations even with Blueface and Krishan. Like there have been multiple altercations where he's had to come to his platform publicly and be like, no, that's not what it is. I can actually show y'all what it is. And then he'll pull up and expose people,
Mm.
but it'll literally be like he got provoked to do so. And it's kind of disheartening to see how messy it could really get to be an influencer and then have to publicly defend yourself. Because in certain cases like that, when they were talking about how he had to pay for an Instagram model services when she spent the night, like that was insane. That was actually crazy. Like he had to sit there and actually deal with that in front of his entire audience.
So yes, yes, having to defend yourself is one thing, but I feel like cyberbullying. Go ahead, Pazel. Go ahead and finish, and I'll give my last statement.
Right.
What was the prior question? It
It was the
was,
cyberbullying part, like people coming for the big influencers, and then
yeah,
the reverse, like with Zeddy and Zoe.
yeah. What I think, I think adult cyberbullying other adults is possible, and it's called cancel culture because that's essentially what it is.
Two snaps for that. It's definitely that. It's
Yeah,
definitely that.
yeah, yeah. If you don't like somebody, cancel them, and you can bully them into quietness and bully them into submission.
You know who didn't sit down though? Who I loved the most, especially for actually standing up for what he believed in, was DaBaby. Because he said literally one time on stage
Mhm.
that if you don't do it in the butt or this, that, and the third, go ahead and stand up, go crazy, go stupid, and whatnot. It wasn't against anyone. And they ran with it. He even got canceled out of multiple deals and songs.
So can somebody actually get canceled? Can you bully? Because when I was in school, when you bully somebody, you bully them for lunch money, you bully them to cower them, to lessen their light, to lessen their power. Pizzelle, I'm gonna let you close it out
Mm-hmm.
now because we only got a minute left. What does it look
Mm-hmm.
like when somebody gets bullied online and canceled? Cyberbullied. And oh, first of all, to
Uh,
talk about DaBaby real quick, we don't excuse bad behavior, right? So if you get caught
No,
doing
no, 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 no,
bad,
no.
it is what it is.
He's
But
his
but
own
go ahead.
character. That
Right.
moment exactly was
Right.
wow.
Okay.
but yeah, cyberbullying or cancel culture usually just result in people throwing a bunch of accusations at you, and then everyone starting to run with it, not being able to be out in public, or else people are shove those accusations in your face, or this, that, and the third, and all these just negative connotations.
Okay. All right. So yeah,
Cancel culture.
that's it. I think sometimes cyberbullying is necessary. Um, I don't ever think bullying is necessary. Sorry, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that. I don't ever think. I think canceling sometimes can be necessary, but I don't believe it's as real as people make it to be. Because if that was the case, we would have had people who justly deserve to be canceled a long time ago. So I don't
Uh-huh.
think cancel culture is real, right? I
Yeah.
think
No tea,
bullying
no
is real.
shade.
Huh?
No tea, no shade.
No tea, no shade to nobody, but a lot of people should have been canceled that ain't canceled yet,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right?
like
Mm-hmm.
I can completely understand canceling EDP off of all platforms. That is definitely a requirement, right? It's
Yes.
not
He has to go. And what was her
What did you say, nigga?